Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Shred Show Live. You know him, you love him, you're excited as I am to see him, Mr. Ben Miller, co-founder of SimpleNexus, hanging out with me this morning. This man has been all over. He's been traveling. He's been there. He's been here. And now he's right here with us this morning. And we're actually talking about that. We're talking about getting back to in-person events. We're talking about their big event that's coming up, Snug. Oh, if you've ever been to Snug, you are not going to want to miss it because that's in person as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an incredible show. You're not going to want to miss it. Sit down, grab your cup of coffee, come shred with Ben and I. Are you ready? Are you ready? It is time to shred. Ben Miller, good morning, sir. Your smiling face, it just gets me excited. It's funny because my team even said, they're like, you get so, my interviews, anytime I talk to anybody, I get excited, I get happy. But when you and I are hanging out, chilling, Ben, it takes it to a whole new ball game. It's fun because you and I are both here in Utah. We actually get to see each other, regularly here in Utah, which is always fun. But you're a wealth of knowledge. Just the way you speak, your mannerisms, everything that you do just excites me. Plus, you guys are working on some really cool stuff at SimpleNexus. So excited to have you back on the show, brother. How are you?
Yeah, no, doing great, man. Super excited. Love the energy. There's a lot to be excited about. There's amazing things happening in the industry, and we're leading the way with with helping lenders get the most out of what they're doing. And it's awesome. It's a great time to be alive, great time to be in the industry.
It really is, man. With technology, like you said, you guys are leading the way with technology integrations. We'll get into that. But I even titled today's show, Simple Homeownership Solutions. Because you guys, that's what it really is. When it comes down to it, it's providing the homeowners, providing the consumer with simple solutions. Technology is growing, it's improving, and it's helping us as originators. It's helping us do our job more efficiently and better. It is an exciting time to be alive, which that's what you and I are going to be talking about today. Is we've gone back to the travel scene. That's travel was kind of put on hold for the last 18 months, but now coming into the fall season, the industry conference season, you and I are both traveling. You and I have both been able to have gone to a few events now. So let's kind of talk about that for a second, because I'd love to kind of get your take on it. Now that you have a few events under your belt, what's kind of your recap? What's your take of these events right now?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think, first and foremost, everybody wants to find what is that new normal? What is the go forward, right? Unfortunately, I feel like COVID is going to be part of our lives just going forward. It's like getting a flu shot or whatever, right? Yep. But fortunately, we're a resilient nation, resilient people, and we're going to get out and figure out how to move forward, right? We're not sitting around waiting for this to blow by and life to go back to the way it was. It's never going to go back to the way it was,
No.
We're talking about our people like about, after 9/11, the air industry, just forever changed, right?
It did.
And I think the same thing with COVID. And so it's nice to find a way to have, go forward, a new normal, and a way to engage in person, because there's a lot of Zoom meeting fatigue, right? And just it's different trying to do business, online or video chat. And the conferences, they've been very well, received, well attended. People are very excited to engage. It's kind of funny. We're at Western Secondary and, bumped into a lender, a prospect for us, hadn't connected with them previous, and they had been meaning to talk to us, and just in the busyness, you forget to send an email, and then it's too late at night, and then you didn't get a chance to jump on this meeting and that meeting or whatever. But when you're in person, sitting in the line to go pick up your lunch or in between, sessions, it's easy to bump into each other and say, oh man, you know what? I've been meaning to get a hold of you guys, and you're right here now. Let's talk. Right.
Right.
And that prospect turned into a client in just over a month. Right. So it was an amazing deal for us, a great relationship to start, and to kind of kick off there in person. So I think that's what you get, in these in-person, conferences and meetings that you just can't replicate. With your Zoom meetings, you're always worried about, oh man, I got another meeting at the top of the hour. I got to cut this conversation off. And, I just came back from the Mortgage Collaborative Conference, and it was so refreshing to sit down to a dinner with somebody, right? and take 2.5 hours or 3 hours, right? It's like, let's just, as long as there's good conversation and we're, having a productive, meal, like, let's just keep hanging out, I'm not worried about jumping to the next Zoom meeting or whatever. And
just get to chill and hang out in person. Now, you mentioned
Yeah.
Mortgage Collaborative. I want to kind of build on that. How was that? Yeah, now you've gone to a few events. I want to kind of hear your take on a couple of them. Is there one that stands out in particular? Like, hey, that was, and again, it's great to be in person for sure. And I don't want to set aside one event to another, but has there one that really stood out to you, being that you were just at the Mortgage Collaborative? How was that event?
Well, that was the most recent, right? For us, I think it was last week or something. I mean, time's all flying by and kind of connected, but really good event. I mean, they do a really good job. I mean, it's a collaborative of a lot of lenders, right?
Yep.
And sometimes, in the past, those types of things have morphed into, hey, it's just a way to like sell stuff to lenders or whatever. But the TMC is really holding true to their name and saying, like, we're going to have these conferences to be a collaborative opportunity for lenders to get together and have, sessions on, what's working, what's not working, what's industry news, like, and of course, vendors are there to interact with them. But, I enjoy going to the sessions and learning what's going on with people. And like, I don't need to try to sell you anything. I'm just here as a participant in the industry, right? And, if we want to talk about, something I can do for you, from a technology standpoint, that's great. But I think TMC does a really good job of that, of providing opportunities, appropriate opportunities to talk, vendor type relationships, but it's mostly centered around, how can we move the industry forward? How can we collaborate and help each other to move forward and provide better experiences for everyone, lenders, borrowers, our realtor partners, settlement agents, all of that into one. So really good session, really, really good time to get back in person and connect with people. And, we made several deals there also.
Nice. Well, I think that's the new, and huge shout out to the Mortgage Collaborative, Tom Glucci, Jim Park, the entire organization there. They do a phenomenal job. I've heard from multiple people it was a great event. And here's the thing, you mentioned something, Ben, that I kind of want to build on. Is this kind of what the new focus of events are going to be, is more of like gain or adding value, sharing valuable insights and strategy? A lot of conferences, you and I have been to them in the past, where it's almost so salesy. Like, you're just like, oh man, it's like a pitch fest almost. And you're like, oh, here, like, I'm going to another session to get pitched on another product. And you're like, oh my gosh. But the last couple I've been to as well have been like, hey, this is valuable. Like, this is a great speaker. This is a great conversation. This is valuable to the whole audience. Is that kind of more of the demo or the shift that we see going forward?
You would hope some are better than others.
Cross our fingers.
So, but I mean, I think we all have a responsibility for that, right? I mean, from a vendor standpoint, if we're called to be on a panel or something, let's make it thought leadership and less of a commercial. But, and then from a lender standpoint, be open to collaboration, right? Go attend something with an open mind, willing to share. If you're looking to get something, be willing to share also and talk about your best practices and what's working well. And just going back to the TMC, I think that's something that people do, really well. And as such, it builds on itself. People feel more willing to engage and participate and to share, right, and to collaborate. So when you have that healthy environment, right? But yeah, I mean, like I said, some are better than others, and but we can all take on the responsibility to try to make it the best experience for the industry.
Well, and that's just it. It's the best experience. I love that you say the experience, because that's what we're all hoping for. When we go to these events, we want them to be a good experience. We want to walk away feeling like, man, that was insightful. That was valuable to my time. Because again, going back to travel, leaving our businesses behind. Yes, we're going to hopefully build relationships, but we want an experience that's enjoyable as well. Plus, it's like, hey, that was extremely valuable of our time, our resources, the relationships that we continue to build. So that's what I'm hoping. It's really one of those things that I continue to see the evolution of events, especially within our mortgage industry, because I'll be honest, there were a few that I would, like you and I both, we're not going to say names or anything because we want to see them improve, but it's like, oh, we're going to that conference again, man. Like, come on. Like, I'm just hoping here. Steve Gardinier says I could listen to Ben all day. Steve, who couldn't listen to Ben all day? That's why I have him here. We're just heads up, guys. We're here for the next 4.5 hours. Ben and I are just chilling. Like, we're just, we're having a good time answering now. We're, Lisa, Steve, everybody likes you, Ben. You're just the dude that everybody wants to listen to. With that, with that being said, I mean, you talk about so many valuable things. People do like to hear you. People love to hear your insights. And we started this off with Simple Homeownership Solutions. SimpleNexus is always working on fun things. You guys are always what's on the roadmap for you guys right along those same lines? You guys are always working on the journey for homeowners or consumers. What's exciting for you guys right now in your ecosystem?
Yeah, totally. I think that's just an immensely powerful concept that we brought to reality this year. Of the homeownership journey being a single login or a single experience for the borrower all the way through, right? And so with our launch of closing, you can now be in SimpleNexus when you're looking for a home, when you apply for a loan, when you start that loan manufacturing process, right? The swap of data and documents back and forth. You can sign disclosures, and you can now close your loan all in the same environment, all in the same login, right? And that's been just hugely powerful. As we've entered closing, right? That's what other companies have been doing as a point solution for years, right? They had a big head start, but we have a very powerful technology team, right? And we've built, superior technology as to what's out there today. But you couple that with this single experience for the borrower and everything prior, what you used to know as the point of sale. And that's how we've landed over 55, contracts already of lenders wanting to do closing with us, right? Dang. Because they're like, this is just a superior experience to, I don't want my borrower to be over here and do everything up to this point, then have to stop and get a different login and go into a different environment over here. Anytime you break that workflow, it's an opportunity to lose the borrower. I mean, and every lender knows that, right? Because we'll find lenders that will have 1 to 2 full-time employees that do nothing but help borrowers manage logins to different systems to try to get their loan done, right? And they come to us are like, man, this is awesome. Like, this is amazing. Besides the fact of all the cool stuff you do and what a better experience it'll be, I can repurpose these 2 employees. They can actually do something else to help the company, besides like take phone calls from borrowers on how to log in to close their loan or whatever.
See, you're creating new opportunities within companies, dude. Like you're keeping people, you're finding new. See, and that's what's so cool about this, the Simple Homeownership Solutions. We talked about the journey with you guys for so long, and now it's kind of even evolving. As everything does, it's evolving into that. And the mobile journey, everybody, we all use this. And the SimpleNexus, the mobile journey that you guys have created, these solutions, it's so exciting. And as a matter of fact, I was talking, and I didn't share this with you, but I was talking with one of our really good friend of ours who owns a very large company, and they just went over to SimpleNexus, and they were talking about how like the experience was for them. This is no joke. They're a big company here in Utah, and they were excited. They were excited to see that how easy it was. Like you said, there was a lot of clunky experiences in the past, man, from different LOS POS systems. And it's just like SimpleNexus was simple. Like it's in the name. I'm like, imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that. So it is exciting. You guys are always working on fun things, which I want to get to that because I mean, we could literally, you and I could talk about this just for hours, the Simple Homeownership Solutions. But I kind of want to come back to the events, because you guys actually, you made a big announcement this week. And I want to get to that here in just a sec. Snug is coming back in person. Before we get to that, though, you guys are going to be at NBA. Tell me what you're excited about NBA. You and I are both going to be there. It's going to be an incredible event. So tell me a little bit about NBA and what you're excited for there.
Yeah, first off, just, shout out to the NBA in general, right? As representing the industry. And there's been a lot of really hot topics, over the last several years that have been very vital to our industry to have a powerful trade group to represent us, right? And so, we're a big sponsor of NBA, a top partner with them. With the NBA annual show, we're going to be a gold sponsor this year. That's the biggest sponsorship ever. And we'll have probably 25 plus people from SimpleNexus there. We'll have a big presence on the floor. We'll have, several different meeting rooms for people. We're going to do a big reception Sunday night to welcome everyone to San Diego to participate and just learn more about, SimpleNexus and a couple of our strategic partners. And so it's a very exciting show for us. It's a big show. It's one that we're excited to, not only participate from a content standpoint, but just be there from, of course, new sales type, help people understand who we are, but we'll have a huge contingent from our customer base. So, we'll have a lot of meetings with our existing customers. So if you want to, connect with us, just reach out and we'll set up a time to do that. But yeah, some of our strategic partners. I mean, like our insurance offering with Progressive Insurance is just going great right now. It's a huge value add for lenders. And then payments. We're super excited to launch our integrated payment solution. This is really a first for our industry to have like
Huge,
payments,
dude.
the ability to take a payment, like a first month's mortgage payment or an appraisal payment or application fee, whatever it may be, to take that integrated into that portal, into the mobile app, into the web portal. I mean, you know, people of course take payments today, but it's like you send a link out from some random processor and you have to
Oh, yeah,
call
it's
the bar,
weird.
like, you're like, dude, it's legit. They're not trying to steal your bank
I
account.
promise we're not scamming you. I promise
Yeah, I
this
know.
isn't a scam.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now it's built into your brand, right? I mean, this is look, this is the way it should be. And
Oh, of course.
people look at it, they're like, where has this been all our lives? Right. You're like, well, you know, hey, we're glad to finally bring this to the market now, you know, but it's what we do. It's like just create cool stuff and just make it the way it should be, you know, the way it can just naturally flow and make it easier for everybody.
Dude, that in itself, you guys create cool stuff. I mean, simple, plain, that's it. That's what SimpleNexus does. They create cool stuff. Do you have a rooster? Like, do you have, I hear this rooster, like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Ben's out on the farm, ladies and gentlemen, here in Utah.
Living in country. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
but you guys do create cool stuff. And with that, you guys made a big announcement. Oh, and I heard about it. We've been working with the team hearing about it, and I'm so excited. You guys, we're going back to Snowbird. Snug 2022 is going down, Ben. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and it'll be our biggest conference ever, right? I mean, you know, Snug has gotten bigger and bigger every year.
Yep.
Well, we continue to grow. We've been growing a lot, right, as a company. You know, well over 300 lenders that use the SimpleNexus platform. And geez, that's 40,000 plus originators out there, right? I mean, that's like 1 in 8 loans that were originated in the United States last year went through SimpleNexus customers, right?
That's insane,
I mean,
dude.
Yeah, the scale of what we're doing is just super exciting. But Snug, it's like the event. I'm so proud of this event because it's a user group that brings everyone together, right? And that notion that I was talking about being collaborative, learning from each other, you know, we're up on stage and we give context of like, here's some training for like admins and here's some industry news for our, you know, CXO type people, you know, C-suite people or whatever. We have best practices for, you know, top producers and things of that nature. But there's so much organic content that just happens as people come together. And in the breakout sections, are very collaborative and say, hey, we're using it this way or that way. And sometimes it's stuff that we never even thought of before. Like this is awesome, you know? And but we'll feature people that are having a lot of success with closing or a lot of success with, you know, helping their loan officers be mobile and get out of the office, right? You know, success with providing that excellent, you know, customer experience and some of the CSAT scores from their borrowers of like, you know, just solid 10s across the board and whatnot. So it's definitely the premier event, you know, for the SimpleNexus family. Ton of fun, you know, at Snowbird, beautiful mountain resort. Of course, there'll be skiing and snowboarding afterward, like at the end of the conference. So we'd love for people to come out and do that. But yeah, just getting together and with a family, right? The SimpleNexus family, so it's a true partnership with our customers and just excited to share. You know,
speaking of excited to share, guys, you got to see, here it is. You got to check out this highlight reel. Ben may or may not be featured in this one. So here we go. I'm going to share this one. You guys ready for this? Here we go. Here we go.
Each year in the dead of winter,
hopefully you guys can hear
SimpleNexus users come together. The conditions are borderline inhospitable, and they brave any number of elements.
By the way, Ben
500 inches of annual snowfall, 11,000-foot mountain elevations. Such is the life of a mortgage trailblazer. They come, they gather, to forge new paths together in their field, to lend hard-earned expertise, to discover what's on the next horizon. This is closer country.
The voice of co-founder Ben Miller is subject to change without notice, including but not limited to the opening keynote at Snug.
Oh, man.
Get to the point already.
All right, dude. will join us next year for Snug as we return to Snowbird.
Let's go. Ben, how many snowballs did he have to hit you with before you finally are like, okay, you know what, Matt, if you can't throw that thing right, we're done, dude.
Yeah, we'll switch places. Yeah, I took a couple shots. Yeah, and look, dude, there's hilarious. They should do a blooper reel because, a couple of them they had to scratch because I was totally anticipating. I was like, I do my line and then go like this, before it would hit. And they're like, man, you're ruining the shot. You're
like, Ben, come on, dude, get in character here. Just focus on me. And by the time you have this headache, you're like almost tipping over, dude. But
I know. The only solace was Matt was standing in 3 feet of snow. So he's from his knees down, he's freezing cold. I was like, look, man, both of us are in this together. So
right, we're sacrificing, dude. We got to get this shot. But guys, if you've never been to a Snug event, this truly talking about events with, the Mortgage Collaborative, MBA, everybody puts an awesome event. But this is a little bit different. I love this one. This is quaint. It's smaller. You get to have incredible. Every time I've gone to Snug, the thing that I've enjoyed most are those conversations, the breakouts, the collaboration that happens at Snug. Even like you said, on the hill, on the ski lift, the things that are happening is just incredible. Plus the sessions are always jam-packed with awesome speakers, valuable sessions. So I'm excited for it. And there you go. One more time, I'm going to throw this up here just so you guys can see the dates. Make sure you are not going to want to miss it. And comments below, or the comment came in yet, make sure you can register now for early bird pricing and everything. So you want to register right now. Yeah,
just go to simplenexus.com and go over to events, and it's the top of the events page. So
yep. And like Ben said, time flies. You see that timer count down. It's like 150 days. You're like, oh, I got plenty of time. No, man. Go do it right now. You want to be here. You want this in your calendar. You do not want to miss this event. I promise you, this will be one of those things that, like I said, not only will you get great conversations, collaboration, but the memories alone. Plus, we're all going to get to throw a snowball at Ben. That's like a bonus of being there. No, just kidding. Ben's like, no, that ain't happening. But no, Ben, it is going to be a great event. And I really appreciate you coming on and sharing so many things going back to event in person. I'm excited for those collaborations, the conversation, the relationships that happen in person. Again, we all have Zoom fatigue. This has changed our industry as a whole, but we're learning, we're growing. And like you said at the very beginning, SimpleNexus is leading the way. You guys are leading by example, and you're helping this entire industry evolve and change. It's exciting.
Yeah, dude, one last plug. Talking about the collaboration, just listening to our customers, partnership with them. They let us know that, and we've all seen the data on the demographics of the Hispanic buyer and the resurgence of, and the just large portion of buyers that are Hispanic now, that just, we changed our roadmap and decided to build, a Spanish intake form to have, the front end of that interaction with the lender to be in Spanish. And so that's really changed the game, for a lot of lenders that have a lot of that demographic they're catering to, and do it in a way that, is still compliant. Like, we're not taking an IRLA, right? Nope. You can take a lot of information to help them have a more natural, entrance into a relationship with you in their native tongue. And that was 100% driven by our lenders to say, hey, we need this now. This is a big deal. And we're able to pivot and create that and deliver that to the industry. So it's just, the lenders are the key to us. Like, we serve them, empathy for the lender is our core value as a company, and we live it and create cool stuff together. So
there you go, creating cool stuff together, not just SimpleNexus, but it's listening to the lenders, your partners, because I know I've been part of those conversations with some of your partners talking about how, hey, we need this, or hey, this needs to change a little bit. And you guys are like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And then you guys do. You make the shift. You're saying, hey, that makes sense for the entire industry. Let's do that. So it's so cool to see a company, especially because when fintech or these tech companies, sometimes they're too big. They're like, hey, we're doing our direction. We're doing our thing. Forget about it. We know what's best for you. And you guys are literally like, you know what? Let's listen a little bit. Let's put our listening ears on and let's make this happen. Jamil Hatcha, I think I see a small bruise on Ben's head from taking out those snowballs, right? Luckily he's had a little time to recover from that, ladies and gentlemen, but he's doing good. Ben, as always, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, hanging out with you. And like you said, the value, everything that you're doing as an incredible leader, a visionary in the industry. We really appreciate you, brother. And appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
A lot to come from MBA, right? I mean, you're gonna have I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be hanging out with Ben and the entire SimpleNexus team. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys at MBA Annual. And guys, get your tickets to Snug right now. I promise you are not gonna want to miss it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for all of you to go shred, go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See ya.